It's, what time is it? Okay, so it's about 9 o'clock. I was up fairly early this morning because I was in bed really early. I was in bed at like 8 o'clock. And then I was up at like 6. So, again, that's actually a fairly lengthy amount of time for me to sleep. Hopefully I'm caught up on my sleep now. I don't know. I'm actually just going grocery shopping. So let's get my face shot in here. Let's get that dealt with. Really, the lights on a bit, heat up. Now that we've got everything else, let me. I realized the other day that my fan was off before I took a shower, and I was a little bit. I couldn't remember when I took it off. It must have been when I did some face paint. That's kind of my last. What is that? Did they actually plug that in? Yeah. Okay. That had been unplugged forever. I guess somebody decided to plug it in. The last what's that there? The last thing that I got here. I haven't been outside, but yeah, the sewers are out today. I'm gonna take a shower when I get back in there. Yuck. Okay, I have to go today though. There's a bunch of stuff I need. Windsor has a really old sewer system. It never. I learned this when I was trying to figure out how the plumbing works. I got into an argument with my landlord for plumbing, and he kept insisting that what I was saying was impossible. He kept insisting that the water couldn't back up because it was in a separate pipe, and I kept saying, well, why is it that the drain slows every time it rains then? And I looked into it and I finally figured out that he was understanding the sewer system using a newer model, which is standard virtually everywhere. But because this is actually one of the oldest settlements in North America, or one of the oldest European settlements in North America, it has a really old sewer system, and nobody ever replaced it. I don't know if it ever got replaced in Detroit or not, but is that a computer after all? I don't consider that garbage yet, but it was. There's a hard drive in there. I'll ask when to come back. If I get a hard drive out of there. Hey, it looked old enough, it might have been. It's just gotta plug in and work, right? Might even get running out of there, who knows? So yeah, it's just like it's all in the same system, right? The sewage is on the same line as the storm drain. So the storm drain what that means is that it's a little bit deeper underground, is that the storm water goes deeper. But what it also means is that when it floods, it all comes up. So there's actually been several opportunities for the city hall to address this problem, but much to the annoyance of the locals here, they keep spending it on renovating City Hall. They keep getting windfalls of billions of dollars, and they spent like $20 billion on renovating City Hall. Like, I'm not joking. Like, that's... When questioned upon it, they say they don't want to play favorites. So, like, it's there's a lot of things in the city that need to be done, but every time the city gets any money, they spend it on City Hall. Like, but you can come up with the greatest scheme in the world to raise money, they're just going to build a new building at City Hall. So, like, what I was saying when I was walking out, though, was that the last mitigation tactic I have left, the last mitigation tactic that I have left is just cranking the heat. Right? I can't blow the fan. So that's what I can do. Is I can turn the heat up high, like really, really high, and just rely on the fact that that's gonna push everything out. I mean, I pointed this out a few times. This is kind of the core of the problem in the first place. Kind of the crux of the problem is that and these big temperature drops, it sucked all the shit into the basement. And it was because I was trying to be reasonable with the temperature, right? So I crank the heat, turn the heat on, crank it up, turn it down, etc. In fact, turning it up and down could have been contributing to the pump, right? To the pump effect. But one way or the other, the only the lesson learned there is I need to have the heat up high in order to prevent that space from to prevent the temperature in that space from decreasing to such that it comes down. On top of that, I mean just the movement of the air outwards is positive for me. That's bad. I mean, it's not. A part of the reason why I wanted to put the fan in was because I wanted to turn the heat down, right? There are negative effects of this for me, including frizzy hair and dry skin, which I don't like. I take good care of my hair and my skin. I was going to try to anyways. So, having the heat up on full blast like that, at least until I can open the windows and let the humidity in, is not so good, right? But, I mean, it's better than sitting in secondhand smoke. So. I need to get some like kiwis and bananas and stuff. I don't know. Oh, did I forget my coffee? Oh. Yeah. So I didn't finish the show reviews. I got about halfway done before I fell asleep very early. I guess I'm going to be focusing on this. Like I said, walking through the sewer wind here. Shit winds. That's the shit wind. Yeah. I'm going to see a big shirtless. So maybe that can be my landlord. Maybe Randy can. Maybe I should start making cheeseburger jokes with my landlord there. Anyways, walking through the shit winds here is, require a bit of a shower when I get home. But I'm just gonna get back to what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything tonight. Tomorrow. I almost did something last night. It's just not. It's not gonna. Kind of a combo thing. I think that. Are they working on the sewers? Surely the shit winds don't have that much legs. Yeah, kind of seems like it. Or maybe that's what I'm saying with the sewers. Like I say, it's all in one system. So when it comes up, it all comes up. When it rains, that. And like I said, they've had ample opportunity to switch it out, but they won't. Give them tons of money to do things they need to do, and they just build another fucking building at City Hall. We've walked by it a few times. The construction there, it was I think it was $20 billion that they got from the casino. And like, there's so many things they could have done with that. But they built a new, you know, like, and they've done things like they built like hockey rinks and stuff. It's just like, apparently there's a hockey arena down that way that like nothing ever happens in. It's like empty all the time. The city's not big enough to have a venue of this sort, but they spent tons of money on that too, right? It's like, meanwhile, you walk up the street and you got the shit winds because the sewer system's 300 years old, right? It's they're gonna have to do it like it's the feds or something are gonna have to do it. Right? The city has amply demonstrated that it won't. But yeah, I'm just gonna finish this up. I'll finish it up. I'm just starting it. Hopefully it's just one run. Because this isn't. I guess I have to do this today. If I'm just walking to the store here, store number 1, then it's pretty quick. But I don't want to do a long run. I'm gonna have to, but I don't really want to. It's not that cold out, anyways. At least it's like it's windy and gloomy and yucky, but it's not. I'm not freezing, anyways. Why are the goddamn cops always around? I swear the fucking pigs are trailing me, and I'm not particularly happy about it. Anyways, yeah, I'll just get back to, there's nothing tonight, there's a show tomorrow, but I gotta finish, doing the read out there. It turns out that, I wasn't expecting much this month, but it turns out there's gonna be a little bit more, so I'm gonna have to budget. Kind of, like tomorrow, I wanna have a talk on, like a transhumanist talk. It's only like an hour, and then I can walk from there to like a punk show, right? And then I should get home tomorrow night. And then the night after that, there's a guitar concerto. Yeah, you think I'm gonna miss a guitar concerto? And then after the guitar concerto, there's a stoner rock band, Magic Stick. So there's quite a few things like that, and nights like that where it's, tonight it's like a Tuesday night techno night at a coffee shop, and then after that, they do kind of like a post-punk thing, but the post-punk thing is like if it was like the only thing this month, maybe I'd go, but that's not quite worth it, I don't think. So, like I said, I gotta work that out and budget it and see. Like I said, there's a Touche Amore show at the end of the month that they're planning around. And if I can plan a good night on the weekend of the 13th, 14th, 15th, I'll probably see Dead Mouse. Not because I'm a big fan, but just because it looks like it's fun. I'm gonna have to be able to work out a path. It's gonna be one of those, get there at 9, get home at 6, kinds of things, right? Or even if I can make the day that much longer. Yeah. So, that's coming up this month, anyways. I'm also probably gonna, the vlog's probably gonna click over by a month. If I can get there if I can get there soon enough, hopefully I can. What I'll do is I'll put them up starting, I guess around April 15th-ish. That's what I'm planning for right now. So it's about 10 days. I don't know if I can get there or not. If I can't, then I suspect you're waiting until May 15th and a 3-month lag There will be a vlog. I think it's February 15th is the next one coming up. It'll be up, and I'm not skipping days. Like it'll be chronological. It's just I gotta get there. So this is what happens when you're kind of I insist on doing things in a specific way. And I pointed this out a few times. I'm not. This is just historical documentation. This isn't meant for, So it doesn't really matter to me. And if anything, I kind of like the idea. I like the premise. Even if I can have like a season, right? So if I do get them coming up in May or even June, like a 3 month or 4 month. Like if I'm gonna do 2 months, we'll see. But that way, what'll be coming up will be the beginning of. When spring happens in real time, we'll be talking about winter, and then when summer happens, we'll be talking about spring.
Thank you.
So yeah, it's that, and again, when I first started doing this, I had very clear thought patterns, and I knew exactly what I was going to say. Now I'm just kind of rambling all the time, but whatever. Yeah, so I got a budget, and there's not really going to be a lot for the rest of the day, unless I have to do a lot more walking. We'll find out. Yeah, that computer here is just a tower. It's been stripped, so we'll leave that be. I don't need another tower. It's a little bit later, super windy. I got most of what I want done, but I gotta bring my cart back, and I am gonna have to go to the other store. Specifically, I need some tomatoes, and that's the thing I go to the other store for. Maybe get some ice cream while I'm there. But I got a cart and a coffee, so we won't be talking while I'm walking. I'm just gonna take it from A to B, and then we'll pick up from there. So the shit winds. Maybe I've gotten used to the shit winds, but I think that they've died down substantially. Certainly if the shit winds are coming, then I can't smell them. There's an old proverb about when the shit winds are so strong you can't smell them. But I've forgotten what it is. And so we'll have to move on. But let me tell you, if you ever are in a scenario where you know the shit winds are coming in and you can't smell them, you want to take notice of that. I'm a little bit slow coming back out because I checked my mail on the way in. There was a letter there from my landlord. Apparently, I'm being accused of leaving the door open. What I can say is that I did notice that the door was open on the night of the initial fiasco evening. I didn't leave them open. I noticed they were open, but I didn't leave them open. And I didn't close them because I figured they were open because somebody wanted them open. And I'm not, this is another consequence of being a privileged upper middle class, WASP twat, is that a neighborhood such as mine is scary to you. And I do believe that my Randy upstairs is a little bit afraid of the people in the direct vicinity of his dwelling for no good reason at all. It's mostly actually older people that live in the neighborhood. When I first moved in, there were maybe a couple of student houses, And I would suspect that some of the students that live there weren't very good students. But besides that, I mean, and they moved out quickly. I don't. The only kids you ever see running around are immigrants, which I mean just means that that's the socio-cultural, dynamic of the space. I didn't mean that in a in a in, in a in a in a condescending way. But I mean, you will see very, very few kids in the neighborhood, and the kids that you do see are like Somalian kids, Mexican kids, just kids that probably children of refugees. Although most of the refugees I've seen actually are single women. I mean, I presume they're refugees. I don't know how they got here, but you'll see a lot of single women walking around with like scarves over their heads, right? They don't seem to have kids, or if they do, they're older, or I don't know, but I've seen hardly any Middle Eastern kids running around. Like I say, I've seen a lot of Middle Eastern women, single apparently, but almost no Middle Eastern kids. So I mean, it's not. I mean, I live in Canada. There aren't ghettos in Canada. It's like. It's not like. It's not like there's roving gangs walking around through the street. Like I say, it's mostly old people, and the balance beyond the old people is recent migrants. Probably a mixture of refugees and probably mostly refugees of various sorts. I say that because we don't need to go over this again, but the Canadian immigration system, like we don't let in uneducated people unless they're refugees. So most immigrants to Canada actually live in big houses in wealthy neighborhoods because they have good jobs. The ones that live in lower class neighborhoods like this are refugees. But the lower class neighborhoods like this are mostly not ethnic. Like, it's not. Most of the people that live around here are old people. People that bought their houses 40 years ago and have been living there for that long. That's the neighborhood, right? And that is most low-income neighborhoods. It's mostly the elderly that watched their property depreciate. They didn't get out when they should have, or maybe they didn't want to. I don't know. But like we don't have neighborhoods full of desperate immigrants in Canada. It's just that's not how the country works, right? So I don't know what he's afraid of. Somebody's gonna. I mean, chances are he's probably never taken a walk, right, in the neighborhood. He just doesn't know, right? He just sees houses that don't have 2 garages and he gets scared, right? Because that's what privilege does to you, right? So he's very paranoid, that leaving the door open for a few minutes is gonna let the boogeyman out. But the reality is that if anybody wanted to get through that door, it would come down with a swift kick. But regardless, I mean, I didn't leave the door open. When was the door left open? I would suspect that the door was probably left open when they came down to yell at me. And they probably opened it up to take some stuff out and then forgot to close it. And so either they're either somebody else complained about the door being open and they blamed it on me, which is false, or they're trying to manufacture a situation, which I suspect is probably the actual truth of it. So I might have put it down in writing that I deny any accusations of propping the door open at night. There was that one day when we left the door open and I was sitting there, and I will leave the door open and bringing things in and out, which is perfectly reasonable, and I would invite them to fight a court case on that and lose it spectacularly. But otherwise, I didn't leave the door open, especially not on the night in question. Trying to think on the night in question, I may have. Was it a Friday night? I think I was trying to sleep. I forgot where I was going with this. Where we're going right now is to get some tomatoes. I got them both texting me back, and I had to put it in writing. More broadly speaking, I mean, it could be. This could be the actual scenario right here, right? The scenario could be that someone asked them if they left the door open and they didn't want to admit it. They said, no, I didn't leave the door open. I didn't leave the door open. I didn't leave the door open. Right? And then, who else would have left the door open then? It's a tenant downstairs, left the door open. And that's how that happens, right? This was a letter threatening me with eviction for leaving the door open. Which, like I say, I look forward to that court case. That'll be fun. I have little question I'll win that one. But I mean, I had to put it down in writing, right? I had to state it unambiguously. I did not leave the door open. You know who left the door open? Your fucking retarded family members left the goddamn door open. Leave me the fuck alone. You're not a fan. I saw the mail person. It's a mail lady. But I saw the mail person. Well, she's a lady, so therefore she's a person, right? Yes, we have advanced. I saw the mail person here. And my letter is not there yet. So, the package either got there yesterday or today, and then it should be here, well, soon. I don't know. They might try and call me though. I don't know. I'll have to find out. I know that at this point in time, I'm beginning to pick up the smell of the shipments coming in. There's some stuff that the next set of lights there. There's something else about this that I need to document, and it's just that the actual reality is that nothing that the superintendent or his daughter say is ever going to be admissible. It's you need to have reliable witnesses, and they're not reliable. Number one, they don't understand the consequences of lying, inside court or outside the court, right? They could file a false document and they wouldn't know, because they're not capable of grasping what would be the outcome of getting caught doing that. Number two, they're going to be very easily persuadable, right? So If they're told to say something, they will, etc. The idea that they're going to provide, an independent analysis of their own, they're both mentally retarded, and you can't expect really much of anything they say to hold up in court. They're not going to have standing in court, so they can't bring claims. The only thing that they would be useful for in a legal perspective is to provide a secondary telling of events, right? So if somebody else says something, they can verify it, but even that is, it's not like if they verify it, therefore it's true, right? It's more, their value in a legal context is almost nil, right? The one exception to that is if you're talking about, like serious crimes, like if one of them gets raped or something, well, but we're not talking about that, right? In a serious situation where there's only one witness, okay. But in a situation like this, like they can't initiate claims like this. And it's up to the owner of the property. It's up to the owner of the property to ensure that there are people capable of representing themselves in a court of law that are in charge of these kinds of situations, right? The word that I've used before regarding this is negligence, and that's the reality of it. Putting them in a situation where they're in charge of anything at all is simply negligence. And if it comes down to it, that might end up being a formal charge against them. I haven't done that. I'm sort of launching a tort, and the basic idea of the tort is negligence, but it's not quite what I'm getting at yet. But at the end of it, might that come up? Might that be the end point? It might, but I want to say I left the door open. That's of no legal value. That accusation is. As ridiculous as it is, anyways, right? They've been horrible for leaving the door open. As ridiculous as that is, you can't even get to that point because they have no legal standing in their statements, right? I still have to take my card back, but it looks like I'm done for probably the most of the month, which is good so that I can budget. I got so much food in here, I can't even fit stuff in. So it's tons of strawberries, green peppers. I got eggs back there, 3 Walla Walla soy milk. So much I can't fit it all in. Bananas are full. It's I've got my spaghetti that I gotta make after back there, and in fact that'll clear up some space because that whole line will come out and I can move that back a little and everything. But the kiwis will come out too. So this is it's a little bit inefficient right now, but still it's nice to have a fridge full of food. And like I say, this is necessary for me because I got a budget for what is going to be a little bit more busy of a month than I thought. On top of that, I lost my GST right off the bat. I basically used my GST to pay for the Human Rights Commission, or the tenant, the landlord suing thing. That's in a busy month, that extra couple of dollars would help. But at least it looks like I'm going to keep the I'm under budget, and I might need to buy some more tomatoes you know, near the end of the month kind of thing. But it's probably I got some chips again, but I mean I spent $6 on chips today. That's not so bad, right? These were super cheap. I'll have to go through and try them out. I tried this one already. It's feta. Was it feta and olive and feta? Mediterranean. It's actually the flavors are very weak on it. There's a very weak salt taste to it. I would hesitate being able to tell the difference between a regular potato chip and that, but I'll have a better review when I come back. I was gonna bring my cart back, and I don't. Actually, I'm gonna need to get some salami too, right? So, what did I spend? I spent 140, and that's gonna be pretty much the month. So, if I spend an extra 20, I could still, you know, recoup $30-40 on that, which, like I say, is gonna help, because my GST just evaporated. So, yeah, I got to work that out for the rest of the night. But that is the rest of the night is budgeting and then figuring out what I'm doing for the rest of the month. So and I got to eat and stuff too. I'm probably gonna need to shower, do the shit wins and etc. But I think unless something really exciting happens, we're probably done for the night.